One cold afternoon, when the sun barely lingered behind the mountains, its final light painting gold across the edges of the sky, a young man stepped into the monastery. He didn't look like someone searching for God. He looked like someone searching for a place to breathe. A faded denim jacket hung from his shoulders, put up like he was shielding himself from the world. In his hand, a phone glowing faintly. In his pocket, a notebook worn thin, stuffed with to-do lists, unfinished ideas, forgotten dreams. He sat across from me. He didn't cry, but there was a silence in him louder than any scream. And he said quietly, "I'm tired, but I don't know why. I don't even do that much. Still, every day feels like I'm running on empty." I looked at him, and I asked the question most people forget to ask. When do you actually rest? He hesitated, then answered, "When I scroll through TikTok. When I zone out for hours. When I sleep for 12, maybe 14 hours. But still wake up feeling like I never rested at all." I nodded, because I understood. That wasn't rest. That was shutting down. We live in a world where exhaustion is normalized, and stillness is misunderstood. We scroll, binge, consume, not to rest, but to escape. But true rest? True rest doesn't make you numb. It brings you back. So I left for a moment. When I returned, I handed him a full glass of water. "Want some honey in it?" I asked. He smiled a little. "No, it'll spill." And I said, "Exactly. So will your mind." We try to pour in more positivity. Motivational quotes, self-help podcasts, gratitude journals. But forget our souls are already overflowing with stress, pressure, comparison, and noise. If you never pour anything out, how can there be room for peace? You don't need more content. You need more quiet. Sometimes healing doesn't begin with action. It begins with subtraction. Over the next few days, he didn't do much. He sat in the morning sun, walked through the forest trails, wrote random thoughts, not for productivity, but for clarity. No deadlines, no performance, no pretending to be okay. And slowly, he began to hear something, not a voice from above, not advice from someone else, but something he'd forgotten. The small, honest voice within, the one that doesn't try to impress, the one that simply is. And he no longer needed apps to measure his output. He didn't need to optimize his day. He just needed to return to himself. On the final day, he sat in the same place he had arrived. But this time, he wasn't carrying a question. This time, he was holding something else. Stillness. And in that stillness, a quiet spark. Light in his eyes that hadn't been there before. He said, "I thought I was lost. But really, I had just forgotten who I was." Then he smiled, genuinely, for the first time. "I thought I lacked motivation. But truthfully, I was just charging from the wrong source." And so to you, who may be listening from your room, or during a commute, or late at night with tired eyes, if you're feeling disconnected, if you feel like your soul is dimming, please hear me. You are not broken. You are not lazy. And you are not alone. You've simply been running too long, without returning home to yourself. So pause, not because the world demands it, but because your heart needs it. Don't confuse escape with healing. Don't confuse numbing out with peace. And don't call stimulation self-love, when what you really need is rest. Choose silence, not to run away, but to come home. This is BraveSpark channel. Thank you for walking this quiet path with us. And if you can, turn everything off for just 1 minute. Not to be better, not to be productive, but simply to be you.